Is Bitcoin a good investment? You got to decide. No one else will ever, ever, ever answer that question for you except for yourself. Can I help you decide? Yes, emphatically yes. Bitcoin is an excellent investment. But be careful because you have to frame it in the right sense. So, for people that invest, what are you looking for? You're looking for capital protection, perhaps, or capital growth. And you have a number of different asset classes that you can deploy capital into, whether that be equities, whether that be debt, whether that be classic cars, whether that be art, whether that be real estate. And in some ways, Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency is just another bucket of asset class that you can look to for an investment. And then you want to be thinking about things like risk, things like liquidity, things like volatility. It depends what you're looking for, right? If you're 65 and you're basically retiring, you probably want something a bit more relaxed that is definitely going to be around and you don't want to take too much risk. If you're 25 years old, you just made your first bonus and you want to take a bit of risk and grow your wealth, these are very, very different stages in life. So, what kind of investment are you making? What are you looking for? And really think long and hard about that. Again, because beginner content, what what I would urge us to think through though is Bitcoin even an investment itself? And this for me was a massive, massive understanding shift, which is there's a difference between saving and investing. It's like, Jake, what are you talking about? Well, I spoke already about this brilliant question, like, what is money? Okay. Now we thought we go, what is money? And then we talk through the history of money, the characteristics of a good money, and the feature set of money. And so money in a sound money sense, in an Austrian school sense, has three abilities: medium of exchange, unit of account, and store of value. Now, I touched on this earlier. When I received my inheritance in my 20s, I knew that if I left that inheritance in a bank in pounds, inflation would just eat it, right? Even if, like, on a 10-year time horizon, you're going to be able to buy less stuff. This is where the word purchasing power is so important. So I received my inheritance. If I just left it in the bank, I knew for sure that I could buy less stuff in the future. That is not a smart or useful, like, wealth generation tool for future generations. Like, you're guaranteed to go backwards, essentially. Okay, well, that means that basically pounds do not have the feature of store of value. Now, pounds might be used as a unit of account, pounds might be used as a medium of exchange, but they do not do store of value. Now, I could have just bought gold, but I wasn't sophisticated enough at the time to understand this, what I'm chatting through now. So the next point being, it's like, okay, well, hang on. So if Bitcoin is just money and money performs these three things, if you just own Bitcoin and use it for its store of value purpose, you're actually just saving, right? And Bitcoin as money is the most saleable good. So when you go to the marketplace with the most saleable good, you can buy anything you want. But also, people want to buy it from you for the things that they have. And so, by definition, Bitcoin is a savings technology. It's just money. And so, when I get asked the question, is Bitcoin a good investment? It's like, okay, well, yes, with the traditional investment lens on, there's a whole number of reasons why you could be super bullish about owning Bitcoin, whether that be S-curve technology adoption thesis, whether that be simply like, connecting the concept of digital scarcity and digital gold, or just the fact that, historical gains have been very good. It's likely to carry on. But is it really an investment? It's like, well, actually, no. I feel like when I own Bitcoin, you'll see this phrase in the investment space about risk on assets and risk off assets. And most people would look at Bitcoin as something risky, right? It's like, oh, yeah, you're taking a gamble with Bitcoin, like, don't put too much in. But actually, what if it's not? What if Bitcoin is the least risky option out there today with the best risk reward upside? And that's where this counterparty thing comes in that I spoke about before. When if you store your Bitcoin correctly, you get extraordinary potential capital gains returns with really low risk. You've got the largest computer network ever invented by mankind as your security guard for your investment that no one can take from you with the best upside ever seen. I mean, this thing is insane. So yes, Bitcoin is a great investment, and I think of myself as an investor, and I allocate capital, and Bitcoin for me is the best place to allocate capital. The second best for me would be a family home, which I'm working on as hard as I can, but it hasn't yet fallen into place for me. So that will come. But um, a house is an investment, and if anything, it's only mapping the speed at which they print the local currency, and it costs money. So I'd think of a house almost as a liability in a way, and is only worth owning if you can get in with leverage. So you're borrowing local currency and keeping as much Bitcoin as you can. That's a whole nother story. Um, Understand that saving and investing are not the same thing. Bitcoin is making money great again and gives you the ability to save.